Hey, what up everyone, this is Mondo All Day, back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing a build guide for Storm. I'll be going over which artifacts I use, which uniques I use, which medallion, as well as go over the power points, where I placed them, the omegas and hero synergies, and at the very end show you my rotation and give you some tips and points as far as how to play with Storm. And again, this is just a build guide for Storm. This is the same build that I used to pass Cosmic Trial. I used around 4,000 omegas or so, give or take here and there, but again, this is just a build guide to show you guys what I used to pass Cosmic Trial with Storm with using around 4,000 omegas. So let's get right into it. So I do apologize for the mess. So I know it's kind of messy, especially with now this whole holiday season. Marvel Heroes gave a lot of free stuff, but yeah, anyways, the first artifact is Scroll Energy Rifle Focusing Crystal. I'm using this for the power duration increase, energy damage rating, and recover 2 spirit when you hit with energy power, which is very, very good because she's very spirit dependent. So keep that in mind. And plus 2 energy because she's all energy based. Then I use Black Tom's Shillelagh. I can't even pronounce it, but I'm using this for the deflect rating increase, energy damage increase, and health increase as well too. Then I'm using Ultron Medallion. I'm using this for the +1 energy, critical hit rating to energy attacks, health, energy damage rating increase, gain 2.1 spirit per hit. So this is a very, very, very beneficial medallion for Storm because again, this is all energy based, and since Storm is all energy based, this is perfect medallion for her. Then I'm using Kevlar plated helmet for the deflect rating, critical hit rating to range powers, which is all ranged, and when you critical hit, you gain +3 fighting. And last but not least, of course, the Book of Demonicas for the +3 to all attributes. Very, very useful and beneficial. Regarding her uniques, these are all of her uniques. These are all her uniques except for one, which is the first one, slot 1. I use heavily modified mercenary assault rifle. I'm using this for, again, I usually use this for my range based heroes, but I'm using this for not only for the critical hit rating, critical damage rating, base damage to bosses, but as well as damage to range powers and health increase. But more importantly though, this grants you +3 to all powers and +6 to all range powers. So combined together, that's 9 power points right there, just to range powers. So hence why I use this a lot for a lot of range characters. Keep that in mind. So you get this from Crossbones. I was gonna say Crossfire. I use it for Crossbones. So, all right, and then for the ring, I'm using Bloodstone Demon Band. I'm using this for the damage rating to range powers, +1 energy, +1 fighting, +1 durability, and +1 speed. This is probably one of the best rolls of the Bloodstone Demon Band because usually they get like, damage increase to summon allies or something like that, and so this is probably the best role for this Bloodstone Demon Band. So again, this is perfect for her because you want that energy, +1 energy, +1 fighting, +1 durability because she is a bit fragile, and +1 speed to increase her speed, obviously. Then I'm using the costume for grade 1 through 4, critical damage rating, and for the core, I have her to her gain +1 fighting and regenerate 25% of your health, which up to 3,000 health, and then 100 spirit. This is a very, very, personally, I would say I would try to get a core that grants you to regenerate health and spirit because she is very, very fragile and weak, and so you want to get, you want to have that core. So keep that in mind. And then Insignia, I'm using Insignia of Eric O'Grady. I'm using this for when you're critical hit, your allies gain 294 damage rating, but also this Insignia grants you damage rating to range powers and area powers. So not the best Insignia, but it does a job. And then for the pet, I have it to where you take I take 1% less damage from enemy melee powers, 1.7 spirit recovery per second, 2% critical damage increase, and then +3 fighting. For the Forge, 800 defense, and then for the Blessing, I have it to where I gain an 200 damage rating increase to range powers and melee powers. Not so much the melee, but the reason why I chose this Blessing is because you gain 2 health and 2 spirit when you hit, and as I mentioned, she is very spirit dependent, so having that extra regeneration of spirit is very, very useful for her, so keep that in mind. And then for legendary, I'm using Cosmic Control Rod. Obviously this is energy based legendary. I'm using this for the energy damage rating increase, regenerate 500 health on enemy defeat, critical hit rating to energy attacks, gain 25 spirit when you defeat an enemy, and +2 energy. Alright, and then for the power points, pretty simple. So top to bottom, left to right. So we got Ball Lightning, max that out. Eye of the Storm, max that out, it's a passive. Crashing Hail, 10. Spirited, it's a passive, max that out. Arcane Tempest, 2 there, or 3, excuse me. Electrocute, max that out. Healing Winds, passive, max that out. Signature, Typhoon, max that out. Sudden Tornadoes, max that out. And then, or Obscuring Fog, 9 there. So I would probably put 1 here for Storm Surge, that way you get crowd immunity. It'd be very, very beneficial, but again, I ran out of power points, and plus I am missing some power points from my understanding. I think I haven't even passed, I'm not sure if I passed Limbo. And if you recall my Limbo video, my Limbo guide video, that when you complete Limbo, you gain +3 spirit. So I don't think I ever obtained that +3 spirit, +3 power points. So I'm not too sure if I gained those +3 power points. So, but anyways, just keep going with it. Omegas again, 4,000 Omegas, just about 4,000, so a little over 4,000. All right, so we have here Arcane Attunement. 6 to Doom's Mystic Armor for the damage rating increase to energy attacks, Brutal Strike rating, and critical hit rating. Interstellar Exploration, 1 for Earth for the base damage increase, 1 for Eagle the Living Planet for the +1 durability, speed, and energy. Again, this is a very, very beneficial attribute increase, because what it does is it gives you +1 durability, which you want your defense to go up, +1 speed, that way you can move a lot easier, and energy, because she is very spirit dependent. And then 1 for Nowhere for 1% chance to call in Star-Lord support. Then I got 3 to tag rounds for when you hit with the range power, gain critical hit rating and critical damage rating. 99 pistol for the base damage range powers, and then Fury's Needle gun for the attack speed increase, and then 1% spirit cost reduction to range powers. So it's very good because she is very spirit dependent and she uses up a lot of spirit. Warpath plus 3 to Warpath for the fighting, 2 to Sunfire for the base damage or energy. There, nanotechnology, 6 to Spintech for the damage rating to bosses. Psionics, 5 to Meltface for the brutal damage rating increase. Molecular Adjustment, 4 to Anti-Genesis for the mental defense rating, +4 energy and deflect rating as well. And of course, Exogenesis for the regenerate health when you hit with an energy power, energy defense rating, and then +8% energy damage, base energy damage. That's it. And then for Hero Synergies, Captain Marvel for the energy damage increase, Cable for the critical hit rating increase, Dr. Doom for the signature power damage increase, Human Torch for the area damage increase, Invisible Woman for the energy damage increase as well as the total deflect rating, Iron Man for the range power and energy damage increase, Rogue for health on any hit and spirit increase on hit, Star-Lord for the critical hit rating to energy powers, and then War Machine for the +10 spirit and +1 fighting, and then Wolverine for the brutal strike and brutal damage ratings. So, not that we got that out the way, now it's the good stuff, as I usually say, in terms of rotation. My team up is King Thor. Keep that in mind, King Thor. So, before I proceed, I'm going to show you what powers I have the order. So the first order, which is the basic, is Lightning Bolt, then it's Electrocute, Sudden Tornadoes, Crashing Hail, Ball Lightning, Obscure Fog, Typhoon, and obviously Movement. And then my hotbar number 2, I have Windy Flight. I use this just to get out of the way. I use this just to flight, that way I don't, consume any spirit. And then Arcane Tempest. This is the toggle. So all you do is activate it. You activate it, and it automatically does damage. But keep in mind though that when you activate this, your spirit is reduced by 50. So keep that in mind. So for right now, I'm gonna not have it on, but just that will let you know that's usually what I have on. So my rotation is pretty simple. It's not that complicated. It's not that hard. I will say though, she is very spirit dependent and she's very fragile. That's why, as I mentioned, for the costume core, you want to get that regenerate 25% of health and 100 spirit when using Medikit, because she is very fragile. And as well as I use Scroll Energy Rifle and Ultron Medallion, because again, as I mentioned, that you want to gain that spirit. We can want to keep regenerating spirit as much as you can. So it's pretty simple. So one of the first things I usually do is activate Crashing Hail. What this does is it does a lot of area damage, but the good thing about this is it does damage over time and it slows the enemies. And the cost is 20 spirit, but I use this right away. So the first thing I want to use from our first rotation, the first eye power is Crashing Hail. So it looks something like this. Alright. So the first thing I do. After that, I activate about 2 to 3 tornadoes. The max you can do is 5, but I usually do 2 to 3. And the good thing about these sudden tornadoes is that the summon duration is about 14 seconds long, so that's pretty good. So again, starting with my first rotation, my rotation, excuse me, is Crashing Hail. That way I get a lot of area damage and start slowing down the enemies, and then as soon as after, sudden tornadoes. So it looks something like this. 3, 4, 5, just like that. Right, that's my first. We'll just leave it like that. That's my first rotation, which is again activate Crashing Hail, so that way you can start doing the area damage over time. Plus, you slow down the enemies, and then right after do about. I usually do 2 to 3, but you can do 5 if you want. Sudden tornadoes. That way, again, you do not only range, but you do a little bit of area. Because as you noticed, I mean, I'll do tornadoes that they move randomly too. So I'm gonna activate one here, and it's gonna do damage to the enemy. See, by itself. Okay, that's the first rotation. Second rotation is incorporating the first rotation, but it's incorporating Ball Lightning. So this is my, I don't want to say second rotation, but I guess it is. But after I activate Crashing Hail and Sudden Tornadoes, I usually do about 2 to 3 of these Ball Lightning. They do a lot of damage, and the good thing about them, it does a lot of area damage, and it's almost, I don't want to say damage over time, but the good thing is that it's a slow moving damage, but any enemies that are around that, what it does is again, sorry about this, my phone. And what it does is, though, any enemies around, it does damage to them. So just show you what I mean. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna activate Ball Lightning, and I want you to see what I mean. So I'm gonna activate one. Actually, I'll do it over here, that we can get a better picture of what I mean. So I'm gonna do it over here. But what you're gonna notice though is, again, it's gonna do any enemies around Ball Lightning is going to do a lot of damage. So again, I'm going to activate it on this person, and you're going to see enemies around this person is going to get affected as well too. So let's get right into it. Okay. See that? Do it again. This is a very good power because, again, it does a lot of area damage too. So any enemies that are nearby, as soon as you activate it, it's going to do damage. So it's a very good one. So again, my rotation is simple. Activate Crashing Hail. That way you can slow down enemies, and then activate 2, well, let's just say 2 to 5 tornadoes, and then after that maybe do 2 to 3 Ball Lightning. Alright, that's my second rotation. So it looks something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's my second rotation, I guess you would say. Now, my third rotation, well, I don't want to say rotation, but it's more of incorporating more powers, but I guess you can say my third rotation would be incorporating these, but incorporating Electrocute. Now, this is a very good power because not only does it do a lot of damage, but it deals 40% more damage to elite and boss enemies. That's very good. The only thing is it does cost a lot of spirit, so keep that in mind. But again, how I incorporate that is very simple. Is I do the same thing, Crashing Hail, and then Sudden Tornadoes, maybe 2 to 3 Ball Lightnings, and then just activate Electrocute. And the good thing about this is it's a single target. And so what you can do is, if you're doing Cosmic Child, and let's just say you're doing Cosmic Trial. I don't know why I want to say Ultron, but you're doing Cosmic Trial, and you're fighting Red Skull, and then Red Skull has enemies around him. And let's say this is Red Skull, and there's two enemies around him. The good thing about this third rotation, I guess you can say, is that you can still do a lot of area damage or damage to enemies around Red Skull. But the good thing is that when you activate, the third rotation, it does a lot of area damage, and when you activate the fourth rotation, which is incorporating Electrocute, you're still doing damage to your main target, which is Red Skull. That's what you want, because you obviously want to pass Cosmic Trial. So again, my fourth rotation, I guess you can say, is doing the same thing I did before, which is Crashing Hell, and then Sudden Tornadoes, and then 5 of them, and then after that 2 to 3 Ball Lightning, and then right after is Electrocute. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and then stick it here, just like that. See what I mean? And look at that, still doing damage. That's why this is probably one of my favorite powers from her, is the Crashing Hail, because it still does a lot of damage. I mean, the area duration, the duration for Crashing Hail is 16 seconds. So it does 16 seconds of just damage. You can, well, I'll give a little tip after that, but afterwards. But again, that was my third rotation, which was again Crashing Hail, and then 5 tornadoes, 2 to 5 tornadoes, and then 2 to 3 Ball Lightnings, and then after, pick a target that you want to do mostly damage, and then just use Electrocute. Alright, now the last rotation, which is incorporating the signature, is going to be Obscuring Fog. I like this because when you activate this power, you don't need to become invisible, but you and allies get concealed, becoming invisible for 5 seconds, 30 seconds. And the good thing too is it increases your damage rating. And so usually what I do is I activate Obscuring Fog shortly after Typhoon, which is her signature. That way I get that increase of power damage. And the good thing about Typhoon is that not only does it do quite a bit of damage, but you slow down your enemy speed by 96%. Plus on top of that, your lightning powers deal 17.2% extra damage to affected enemies by Typhoon. The duration is 9 seconds. So by me saying all this, what does this mean? Basically what this means is that when you activate Typhoon, any enemies that are affected by it, or basically you hit with Typhoon, when you use an lightning power, the damage is increased by 17%. And it's important to know, because hence why I'm using these two, which is Ball Lightning and Electrocute, because when this is my last rotation, but I believe it's number 4. I can't remember now, but number 5 I think. But anyways, the reason why I chose these Ball Lightning and Electrocute is because when you activate Obscuring Fog and then signature right away, according to this, lightning powers do more damage. Ball Lightning does a lot of area damage, and the good thing about it is it's slow. So when you activate it, not only is it slow and it's doing a lot of area damage, but that's, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's moving slow, and enemies around that ball of lightning is going to get affected by it. And with the incorporation of this power damage increase with Typhoon, it's just going to increase your damage even more. And not only that, when you activate Ball Lightning after you activate Typhoon and you activate Electrocute, this is going to do a lot of damage. And this Electrocute deals 40% damage, extra damage to elite and bosses. So if you were to incorporate that percentage of damage increase with Typhoon, which is 17, that's about 57%, over 50% extra damage increase, combining Typhoon with Electrocute. That's why for Electrocute, I always suggest pick a target that you want to do massive damage to. If you watch my Cosmic Trial video again, if you notice that I usually use Crashing Hell and Sudden Tornadoes and then Ball Lightning a lot, because again, I'm trying to do area damage. Once I pick an enemy that I want to do a lot of damage, and then obviously I choose Electrocute. That way I can still do damage with these other powers, but I can do a lot of damage to that one single target that I want to do damage to. So again, my last rotation, just to go over it, is quite simple, which is incorporating the fourth rotation, which is Crashing Hell, Sudden Tornadoes, and then Ball Lightning. Maybe not so much Electrocute if you want to, but Obscuring Fog, Typhoon, which is signature, and then after that, do it again, but this time just do one quick one. So in other words, do one Crashing Hell, Southern Tornado, Ball Lightning, and then just pick one target and just use Electrocute. That way you can take advantage of the extra damage increase, the extra buff. So it looks something like this. See that, and it's doing so much. I'm just doing a lot of damage over time, and then obviously it's running out. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to do it over here with a lot of area, enemies, and just to go over it again. Simple. You know, I'm gonna pretend this is a Red Skull, and again I'm going to activate my powers, and then activate Typhoon. And now there's a little tip for Typhoon. I would suggest place it where there's a mass majority of enemies. That way, if let's just say, for example, well, just example here. Let's just say these enemies, these right here. Let's say this is the Red Skull. The middle guy is the Red Skull, right? And then these enemies right here are all clumped up over here, almost towards the back. I would suggest placing Typhoon probably in between. That way, you don't, not only do you affect Red Skull, which is the middle target I want to do damage to, but it still affects a lot of enemies that are clumped over here. That way, when you activate Crashing Hell, Southern Tornadoes, and Ball Lightning, the Ball Lightning will pass through Red Skull and still do damage. And with the buff of this signature, it's going to even do more damage. So again, I want to do the third rotation, which was Crashing Hell, Southern Tornadoes like 2 to 5 times. We'll just do 5 times this time. Those are 3 Ball Lightning, Obscuring Fog, Typhoon in the middle. That way it gets damage to all of them. And then after that, do it again, which was Crashing Hell, Southern Tornadoes. But I'm going to do 1 Southern Tornadoes, 1 Lightning, and then Electrocute to this one. Because that way I get the mass damage to my specific target. So it looks something like this. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Right here, and he's be dead, and he's dead. And he's dead. You can just you can do Ball Lightning here. They're all dead now, but you get the picture, all right? And then that's usually my rotation. Pretty simple, like I said, pretty straightforward. And last but not least is a basic, which is Lightning Bolt. When do I use that? It's simple. Whenever I'm low in spirit, activate this, because this Lightning Bolt, what it does is a basic power, and it's okay. But it restores 5 spirit, and as I mentioned, that she's very spirit dependent, and so Lightning Bolt, I want to use it whenever I'm low in spirit and I want to recover spirit as much as I can, as fast as I can. Activate this. Now, one thing to add to this that I forgot is that signature here. This the signature is it does damage increase to lightning powers, and then if you remember correctly, as I mentioned, Arcing on Tempest, which is a toggle, it does damage randomly, lightning, and it does lightning. So not only does the signature help out, buffing up the lightning powers, but also buffs this up as well too, the Arcing Tempest. So that's always a good thing. So keep that in mind. Just a little add-on. Okay, again, her rotation is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Some people would say it's boring, but to me, I think it's very simple. I think she does a lot of area damage. She does a lot of damage over time, but do keep in mind she is a bit weak and a bit fragile. So keep that in mind. Hence why that durability, as I mentioned, is pretty important. And just a little tip with her, not a little tip, but the good thing about Crashing Hell is that you can literally you can activate as many as these, and you can cover the whole entire screen with Crashing Hell, and you can do a lot of damage. And so, I mean, just activating this alone does a lot of damage, but you can activate about 5 or 6, literally covering up the whole screen. So what I'll do right now is I'm gonna activate one here in the middle, and I want you to see how much it covers. And then after that, once it's over, I'm gonna do it again, but this time I'm gonna activate it all around, and you can see how much it covers. Just Crashing Hell. So I'm gonna get 1 in the middle, and okay, it does pretty good amount of damage. We'll wait a little bit. It does pretty good, not bad. So covers quite a bit, as you can see here. Covers quite a bit of energy, little area. But the good thing about this is, again, this is tip number 1, is you can activate as many as you can. Hence why I mentioned that she's very spirit dependent, because this is a very, very, very useful power, because you can literally activate this, and within like literally 16 seconds, it just still continuously does damage. And if you remember correctly, when you hit with an energy power, you recover 3.5 spirit according to this artifact. And as well as the medallion, you gain 2.1 spirit on hit, and as well as the the defense, this forge, which is you gain 2 spirit and 2 health for when you hit an enemy. So yeah, hopefully you kind of get what I mean. So again, by itself it does a pretty good amount of damage, but with Crashing Hall you can activate as many as you can. So I'm going to do right now is every pair I'm going to activate one in between, and you're going to see how much it covers, how much area it covers. So every pair I'm going to activate one in the middle. So probably except for, yeah, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So I'll probably have one over here by the center. So there we go. Just like that. You can literally keep going. I want to keep going. I'm gonna cover the whole screen if I could. See what I mean? You can just put one in here in the center. Hence why I mentioned that, medkit, and then you get more spirits. There's a reason why I say that she's very spirit dependent, as you can see here. Because you can look how much area damage. I mentioned there's enemies around here, it's going to do a huge amount of damage. Not only that too, if you activate spirits and you continuously do that. Alright, let's just say you add more here. And if you activate some tornadoes, 3, 4, 5, and then some. Pick a target, get some spirit, and then tornadoes again, ball lightning. Hopefully you get what I mean. So she is probably one of the best, to me personally. She, look at it, he was still doing damage even after walking away, and my tornadoes are still doing damage, but she does a lot of damage. She does a lot of area damage. So to me, she's probably one of the best, crowd control per se powers, because as you just witnessed right now, she can do a lot of damage. She could do, no, I won't say a lot of damage, but she can do damage to covering a lot of area. So that's very, very good, especially if you're doing like maybe raids. Perfect example would be Ultron for the EMP wave, or the second wave. Should be perfect for that, because all you have to do is activate a couple of Crashing Hells right on the EMP, and then couple around the EMP. I mean, any Ultron they go near, they're going to be damaged. And so, and not only that, this Crashing Hall slows down the enemy. So what you can do is do that, and then activate a couple of sudden tornadoes, boom, and then just a couple of ball lightning, and as you just witnessed, you can just do a lot of, just stacks of damage, which in turn can help you with some spirit. But as I mentioned, she is very spirit dependent, so keep that in mind. And yeah, that's it. This is my build guide for Storm. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I like her. The only thing is that she's a bit weak, so keep that in mind. But other than that, she's pretty good. She's fun. I enjoy playing. I enjoy playing with her. So yeah, this is my build guide for Storm. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Any requests for certain characters? I know someone requested for Kitty Pryde. I am working on that, but my next character is going to be Magneto. Someone requested that a while back, so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna do Magneto next. So Magneto will be my next character to do comment trial and build guide, and then after that probably do Kitty Pryde and then some other character. But again, if you questions for certain characters, leave it in the comment section below. If this video was helpful for you guys, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to see more videos of mine, or if you want to be up to date, please do subscribe to my channel. Not only does it help the channel a lot, but it means a lot to me as well too. And that's it, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and on to the next one. Have a good one.